Thank you all for coming out. Does anyone not have a draft card? I want to thank everyone out here who opposes the war but doesn't do anything to stop it. The United States of America, we are some of the richest, most privileged people that have ever walked the earth. If we wanted to end this war today, it would be over. And I thank you all for not doing that.
The war is a profitable venture for the United States, and we need to stay there as long as possible. If you're going to aid in our economic effort to better the country, we need you over in Iraq right now. If you believe that things are not as good as they could be in Iraq, I beg to differ. Things are great in Iraq. Everybody is happy. We've established a great temporary government over there. And to prove this point, I'd like to introduce an Iraqi woman who's going to speak to you about how wonderful it is in Iraq right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Dahlia Wasfi. She is an Iraqi American who has lived in pre-Saddam and post-Saddam Iraq. And she's going to speak to you for a few minutes, defending the draft board and just letting you know how great it is in Iraq right now.
Thank you very much. I am here to tell you that my family's been liberated. They've been liberated from water. They've been liberated from electricity. They've been liberated from security, reconstruction, jobs, healthcare, education, and national security. There's 1.2 million Iraqis who've been liberated from their lives. There's close to 5 million Iraqi refugees who've been liberated from their homes. And if that's a measure of success, then by golly, it's looking good in Iraq right now. No? Sorry? Okay, so 4.5 billion orphans in Iraq, 500,000 roaming the streets, 8 million in Iraq in dire need of humanitarian aid. But all the billions that our Congress continues to appropriate for this occupation aren't going to the Iraqis, aren't going to armor vehicles, aren't going to pay for veterans' health care benefits. They're going to corporations, be it Blackwater, Khaki, DynCorp, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, McDonnell Douglas, and on and on.
Good American businesses.
Good American businesses, making a lot of money, and they're not sending their kids to go to Iraq. Life basically for Iraqis is a living hell. And our obligation to the Iraqi people, to the American people, and to the rest of the world is the immediate unconditional withdrawal of American forces from Iraq, period.
Now, hold on a second. I mean, she paints a pretty bad picture, but it can't really be that bad, can it? I mean, come on. We listen to the news. We know it's going well. Come on. Why don't we, I got an idea. Why don't we hear it from Jason Hurd? Jason Hurd has been in Iraq. He's a U.S. veteran. Come on, let's go.
You know, actually, I hate to burst your bubble, but things aren't going all that great in Iraq. I served in Iraq from November of 2004 to November of 2005, and I spent a year of my life oppressing people 8,000 miles away. I showed up in Iraq, and I lived in the Green Zone in central Baghdad. About 6 months into my tour, we started getting missions where we were going out searching for car bombings and things like that. I saw dead civilians, dead soldiers, body parts, limbs, and now I have PTSD and major depressive disorder, and every day of my life I take pills to deal with my anxiety and my nightmares and my flashbacks. I went to Iraq expecting to help people, but instead I was put in a situation where my unit, we shot at innocent civilians. You see, when you're driving down the road in Iraq in a convoy, you have to keep a 50-meter perimeter around your convoy at all times. And if anything, whether it's a human, a dog, a car, whatever, if anything comes in with that 50-meter perimeter, you have to shoot at it. And my guys would shoot at innocent civilians as they sort of were oblivious to their surroundings to keep them out of that 50-meter bubble. We would come home in the evenings back to our base, and we would brag and joke about how when we fired at cars, radiator fluid would spew out everywhere and we would cause wrecks. and these things were funny to us. But now looking back on that, I know that 61% of the Iraqi population support attacks against coalition forces. I know that 79% think that coalition forces are the main contributors to the violence in Iraq. And I do know that 71% want us out immediately. And there's a reason why. We are disrupting their lives. I once went out on a patrol in Baghdad, and part of the mission was to get out and meet and greet the local population and ask them what problems they were having, ask them how we could help. And so I went up to this man with my interpreter and I said, you know, are we helping you? Is life better for you in Iraq now that America is here and that we've invaded your country? And he looked at me and he said, you know, mister, we know that you guys have good intentions here and we know that you're trying to help us, but the fact of the matter is we didn't have to worry about car bombs before you guys came here. And we didn't have to worry about the safety of our children as they walked to school down the street. And we didn't have to worry about U.S. soldiers shooting at us as we drive up and down our own streets. So the reality is, opposed to what the draft board is telling you, the violence that we've caused in Iraq is ripping that country apart. And the only way to end that violence is to get our troops out immediately. What I want to urge all of you to do is, everyone who's got a draft card, raise it up high. Instead of signing up and enlisting with these guys, I want everyone who's got a cigarette lighter to burn their draft card. And if you don't have a cigarette lighter, tear it into a million pieces and throw it at these guys. Tell them we don't want the 1.2 million dead Iraqi civilians that we have caused.
I'm really not a draft board member, if you couldn't tell. I'm a UNC student, and I'm pissed off about this war. It's been going on for almost 5 years, and there's many people on this campus and other campuses and across this entire country that don't agree with the war, that think that we never should have went there, but they're not doing anything about it. They're choosing to turn their eyes away from what we see on the TV, what we hear about over the internet. They're choosing not to listen to the screams of over 1 million Iraqis who have died, 3.3 million who are internally displaced from their homes, people who don't have access to food, water, electricity. And this war has got to stop, and we have to stand up and help stop it. And I urge you on March 19th to walk out against the war. It's part of a national movement. Already over 60 universities across this country have signed on. There's a coalition that is growing of UNC student groups that are opposed to this war. Students on this campus are waking up. We're joining together in a broad coalition, and we're going to speak out against this war and tell this university that they need to cut ties with war profiteers and Army research labs. We're going to show this community that we are serious about ending this war. Join us!